What's going on? This is Will from Never Behind. And this view doesn't get old. You know, I've lived in Florida for many, many years of my life, and as much as I love the beach and I love that whole feeling of getting up early in the morning and going to the ocean and being there before the herd gets there, the masses get there, and just to be alone with the water, this is just as nice, right? I mean, just this view doesn't get old. The size of the mountains, the way it makes you feel when you're around them, something about it. So I figured I'd start off with that. But anyway, what's going on? You know, one of my favorite things that I get to witness on a daily basis is the masses, or even people in the know, arguing about the decorations within their prison cell, the colors of the bars, what we're going to put on the walls, what kind of rugs we want to put on our cell floor. Do we want a toilet seat cover? Do we not want a toilet seat cover? Do we want toilet paper? Do we want a bidet? All of the intricate details that you could think about for your prison cell. That's my favorite thing to witness. People arguing about, oh, it's really windy, but check this guy out. Hey, buddy. Sitting there minding his own business. Beautiful. It's really windy, so I'm going to turn my body, but I'll keep the camera over there. Let me see him. Hey, bud. I'm just going to leave him be. He's all by himself. Beautiful creatures. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, all of the intricate details that you can argue over a prison cell, that's what people argue. From the left side, from the right side. Oh, look at him go. So beautiful. Hey, bud. But that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm witnessing. It's my favorite thing to watch. Like, are you fucking serious? It doesn't matter what side you're on, the left or the right. It's the same shit. You're arguing which master do you want? Which slave master do you want? That is what you're arguing. I recently started interacting more in the comment sections of Instagram posts just to try to get people to get over to hear people talk, trying to, when you mention Mark Passio or Max Egan, these people, trying to put those names out there. Old school Michael Tessarion, right? Before he became a Trumpster. All of that. So trying to get them to interact a little bit. But obviously I know the end result is, it's an exercise in futility, because I'm having people say this late in the game that what's taking place in the world stage is real. It is just the way things are going, that there's no possible way that there's puppeteers behind the scenes. People telling me that, oh my God, you're allowed to own property in the United States. What are you talking about? No, you're not. Because if you pay taxes on something, that means it's not yours. You can pay off the house, right? You can buy the nice house, you can build the nice house, you can pay it off, but you still are paying taxes on the property. So if you don't pay your master your rent tax, the property taxes, to rent the land from the state, they will take your house that you built or that you bought. So therefore you don't own it. It's incredible to me what at this, it's 2025, cell phones the internet has been out here. Granted, a lot of it's being wiped clean, but the internet has given access to so much information that our ancestors used to literally kill themselves for, or be killed for, or try to sequester away in secrecy so it wouldn't be taken from them. Information it's all out there. It's freely available. And still, nothing. The masses still have no clue what's taking place. They still believe you can own property and you're free in this world. There's only a few issues, and that the media is actually trying to tell you the truth It's just either they're from the right or from the left, or that politicians have your best interest in mind, or that doctors have your best interest in mind. It's incredible to me. It's absolutely incredible. And the whole point I was going to jump on here today was to talk about the idea of, sometimes when you have these conversations with people, they'll ask, well, why would that be? Why would anybody not stop it? Or who's going to stop this? If you're a Christian, you think that, well, all you have to do is believe in Jesus and you're fine. You're going to be saved at the end. Or some benevolent figure is going to come, like a Daddy Trump type, and he's going to save you, he's going to save your family, and he's going to save the country. One of the most disgusting things I've seen in my adult life is where you see the poster, Trump is my president, Jesus is my savior. Just to even, and I'm not religious, not in the slightest, very spiritual, very understanding of the hand of creation and the spark that's in me connected directly to God. Very much understand the symbiotic relationship with this earth and how that's not an accident. But definitely not religious. But how could you speak such things? To put Trump and your God on the same poster, and you're proud of that. To say you're a law-abiding citizen, you're a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. You're a slave. That's what you're telling me. And these conversations when you have, and people are looking for saviors, and who's gonna come and help us. Well, that's why I wanted to come on here and let you guys know, all of you that talk like that. You, that's who. You. That's who's going to save you. That's who's going to protect your family. You. It's always been you. It's always going to be you. Because it is your responsibility to safeguard your mind and your spirit and your physical health to the degree that you can do that. Obviously, we get sprayed on from above by planes like little cockroaches, because that's what they think of us. With the chemtrails, can't really stop that. Can't really safeguard yourself from that. I keep the mindset that I will never get sick and that I will never die prematurely unless it's to avoid taking some sort of forced injection or something like that, or get killed in an all-out urban warfare situation. But I will never die prematurely from an illness. I keep that mindset. I've been saying that to myself on a regular basis since I was very young, since my teenage years. And I used to write it on pieces of paper and say it to myself and stick it in my folder, and I don't get sick, And I believe that the mind has a lot to do with that. When you learn about germ theory and contagion theory, or contagion and terrain theory and all of that, then you really strengthen your mind with actual factual information. And you realize that if you eat clean, you drink clean water, you keep a strong, clean mind, you're not going to get sick. It just doesn't work. But the point is, your mind, your heart is your responsibility. Your safety is your responsibility. If you're a man and you're married and you have children, or you're divorced and you have children, whatever, those children, their safety, because they are children, their mentality, their mind, their psychology, their spirit, their mental health, everything, their physicality, their physical health, that's your responsibility. It's not the responsibility of politicians to protect you. It's not the responsibility of police to protect you. Oh, hey, buddy. Look at him. Look at that. So beautiful. It's interesting that they always seem to poop in the same exact places, though. Like, he walked right over, and he's probably going to release right here. Yep. Walked over to a pile that's already been formed. Maybe it's his, maybe it's not, or hers. I can't tell yet. But, yeah. But yeah, that's the whole idea, right? It's your responsibility. To think that you can delegate that responsibility of your own safety to someone else it's incredible. Because to be a human being is to be responsible, is to be in relationship. To be a human being is to understand that you have God within you, and you don't need an intermediary to dictate what that is, what that relationship is. You don't need a building to go to. You don't need money to give to institutions in order to be understanding that God is within you. And that in order to honor that, in order to honor your ancestors and to honor those that came before you, You must behave in a certain way as a man, as a woman, as a parent, as an example for the youth. You must behave in a certain way. And so when you have these conversations with people, and if you have the understanding of what's taking place, then you need to let these people know. It's not Daddy Trump's responsibility to protect you. It's not the police, it's not ICE, it's not anybody. You know, what's going on in the UK right now with their, Keir Starmer, that piece of shit, coming on there and saying that by the end of this parliament we will have digital ID. It's we will see all-out chaos in the streets because millions of people, or over 1 million people, have already signed petitions saying, yeah, we don't want that, fuck off. And the excuse as to why they're doing it, this is to help stop illegal immigrants from working. Okay, well, how about we just put the military on the borders? How about we just sit there and do our fucking job? You say that the military are here for this and the police are here for this. Okay, so use them as you say they're supposed to be used. Why do you need to enslave the home population of this country in order to safeguard them from illegal immigrants? How the fuck does that make sense? So everybody knows what this is for. This is for track and trace. This is for pretty much just getting on your knees and telling the government, yeah, you own me. You own me outright. You will decide if I can work, if I can eat, or if I can live. And that's what this is all about. So we will see chaos in the streets. And I know it's beautiful, but I got to keep moving. We will see chaos in the streets because what they are trying to do, they are throwing everything at the wall in order to see what sticks. And this is a big step. This is a big, big step. And they want the chaos, hence the Charlie Kirk situation and then the Dallas shooting situation. And we're going to see more shootings and we're going to see more attempts on public figures' lives. Because the more chaos, the more control they can put in. And they engineered the chaos. They have always engineered the chaos. You think of all the false flags, you think of all of the planned events that they have put forward in order to either go to war, institute new laws, whatever it is. Because that is what governments do. That is what governments have always done. I don't understand how people can't fucking see this. History's there for you to study if you get some books from different perspectives. And if you can just do some pattern recognition, we understand. This is what governments do. The only way a government can stay in existence is if they have a reason to exist. They exist out of fear. Without the people being in fear, then there's no reason for them to exist. Because all governments do, as Max Egan says so rightly, is protect you from other governments. It's not the people that are doing this shit. Yes, organized religion is a problem because Islam is all about conquest, and Judaism believes that Amalek needs to be destroyed in order for their Messiah to come back. So that is the destruction of Western civilization. And for Islam, it's the destruction of anything that is not Islam, that is built into their religions. So organized religion, yes, is a problem because people don't understand what the word personal belief means. They want everybody else to believe what they believe, and so they try to force it upon them in some form or fashion, either by outright killing them if they don't convert, or they move to where you live and then they slowly change the culture. I was at a public shopping area yesterday, not in a big city, in California, and I was one of very few Americans there. One of very few. There are a lot of Muslims, a lot of Indians, and when you go to major cities anywhere in the West and you see that, and then you go and you see how the culture is slowly changing, or the schools have changed to not offend these people that are in your country, that is the whole plan. That has always been the plan, is to diversify everything, to muddle the waters at all costs. or to muddy the waters, sorry. And that is what they do with religions. That's how they use religions. They use them as a hammer in order to beat down whatever people they need to beat down. I know this video is all over the place, but like I mentioned in my very first one, the reintroduction, this is what's going to happen. Because what's taking place, there's so many factors coming from every angle, whether it's religion, whether it's the government, whether it's secret societies, which control the government, which control the religions, whether it's banking, whatever it is, we're getting attacked on many different facets, through nutrition, through poisoning water supplies, through the chemtrails, through the forced invasion. So when we talk about these things, we have to take into account all of it, because it's all related, it's all connected. Because you can't do this to a people that are aware and healthy and strong. People must be dumbed down, they must be sick, fat, dumb, and dependent. And that is what they've done. Look at the population of the West. I know everybody wants to shit on America and how obese Americans are. Okay, if you've been to Europe, you're not far behind. There's obesity everywhere as well. If you go to Asian countries, you see it there now too. You go to Mexico and America is always flip-flopping on who's the most obese country in the world, right? It's everywhere. They are trying to dumb down and to make sick, fat, dumb, and dependent the entire world, and to lessen the population through infertility, through brainwashing to make women not want to have families anymore, to hate their own type of men, to hate their own people. And it's all part of it. It's all part of it. And you think of all of the attacks that we're under, and it's just unfucking believable. Because it's not hard to fix any of this. It's really not. It's not hard to fix what's taking place in this world. Harm none, do what you will. Harm none, do what you will. Don't stand for evil. Don't partake, don't participate. Morality is objective, and you learn what that is. You learn what it means to be an authentic man or authentic woman. And there you go. Game over. You're living as a moral man or a moral woman, and by default, your actions will promote freedom, not only for yourself, but for everyone else in the world. But that's not what we have. That's not what is taking place in this world. We have people fighting over the decorations in their prison cell. We have people willingly walking off the edge of the cliff in name of government, in the name of organized religion, in the name of beliefs. Beliefs are the enemy of truth. Belief is the enemy of reality. Beliefs are the enemy of God. Because God is truth. It's here. It's all over. The energy is everywhere. The symbiotic relationship that we all have with this earth is proof. The complexity of the human body is proof. You know, when you go through this process of questioning things when you're young, so many people I went through the same similar process, where you find out what religion is and where it comes from and how it works and what it's used for, and then you immediately jump to atheism because, well, if it's not religion, then it must be the other thing, right? It must be that science is correct. But you can't stay there. You have to keep questioning, keep digging, and then you find out, well, to be an atheist, you have to have just as much belief in that as you do if you are a member of an organized religion. To believe that all of this came from nothing. And then you look into evolution and realize, well, there's a reason why it's called the theory, because it's never been proven. Darwin said himself, if you don't find transitional species in the fossil record, then my theory is incorrect. And guess what? It is incorrect. We do not come from fucking chimps, monkeys, apes, what have you. There are no transitional species. So therefore, the man himself would say, why are we teaching this as if it's fact? Because clearly it is not. There is microcosm examples of evolution, but on the macro level, absolutely not. And then you look at the fossil record for everything else, and you say, holy shit. Well, it can't be atheism, because evolution and the idea of the Big Bang and all of this coming from nothing, and it's just ridiculous. And that whole metaphor of, for this to all be accident and happenstance is the same thing that you would have to believe if a tornado went through a junkyard and on the other side fully formed, you would find a 747 jet in all of its parts and components, which would never happen. Just like all of this cannot happen by accident. And then you keep digging, and you find out the observer effect, and you find out about the ether, and you find out about the morphogenic field, and all of these things. And that's what it means. That's what it means to be a human, is to question all of this, and to speak truth to inconsistencies, and speak truth against evil, and to not stand for evil. And if we do that, we're free. And we can find out the truth of what this realm is, because it's not what they say it is. We can find out what space is, because it's not what they say it is. We can find out our true origins as a species, because it's sure as fuck not what they say it is. We don't come from monkeys, apes, and chimps, and whatever else you want to call it. And we did not evolve from nothing, and we weren't just planted here in full form in the Garden of Eden. So what the hell happened? The truth is out there. The people at the very top know. And they utilize those stories. They utilize that information, that ancient psychological trauma about what took place here and how humanity has been devolved after reset after reset after reset. And they use that to manipulate today. They use the symbolism. They use the archetypes. They use all of it in the movies and the symbolism and the ads. And they use all of it for marketing purposes. They use it all for predictive programming. And we could find out the truth. We could go through the Vatican archives. We could go through the archives at all of the government offices and the deep underground military bases. We could do that if we were free, and we would know what the fuck's going on in this world. We would know exactly what's taking place here. And then we can move forward. We could evolve as a people. And we wouldn't need violent revolutions due to self-defense and the need for the people to throw off tyranny. But the thing is, about revolutions and the ones that we've seen in the past, today's a little different, isn't it? With digital ID and digital currency and mRNA injections and the chemtrails, today's a little different. People are being assaulted and taken out a little differently. It's not going to be just Bolshevik genocide of 60 million Christians. It's not going to be an Armenian genocide. It's not going to be the killing fields of Cambodia. It's not going to be another Vietnam War. They're doing it differently. They're doing it through mRNA injections. They're doing it through carcinogens being pumped in the blood, polysorbate 80 and formaldehyde and detergent and animal DNA and aborted babies, the DNA from aborted babies and oils and all the stuff that they put in injections. It's not going. They're doing it in different ways. So how does humanity come back from that? How does humanity safeguard itself if it's being poisoned? If it's being made sterile through things that they are told are safe and clean, and they're there to protect you. But when you take them, you see cancer exploding, you see diseases exploding, and you see infertility exploding. So how does humanity come back from that? I don't know. But I do know that for the rest of my life, I will, as long as the internet's not fully taken down or fully censored, I will be speaking out against these evil motherfuckers, and I'll talk about the things they're doing, and I'll talk about what it means to be a human being, how important solitude is, how important it is to be around animals and to see animals and to be in nature. Look at this guy. I'll talk about these things because it's vitally important. Because too many people want to come online and they argue over the minutia of our slavery. They argue over the colors of our prison cell walls. What kind of texture do we want to put on the floor? What kind of tapestries do we want to put on the wall of our prison cell? Right? And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. I mean, could this be a more beautiful creature? Granted, the power of these things do make me like, oh, okay, I don't want to get too close because they're so fucking powerful. But they are absolutely beautiful. The muscles are just unreal. I'm trying to get a side shot. Hey, buddy. I mean, look at that torso. Look at you. Golly. And that would be the life. And I get it, they don't have, the same type of consciousness we do, but I'm often envious of these types of animals that just get to be out in nature all day. They eat what's provided, they find their water source, and that's their life. Because that's really what human beings are supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be working these fucking jobs where we're working 10 hours a day, if you count in showering and traffic and all this shit. 5 days a week, 50 years out of your life. It is the most unnatural system. It's fucking disgusting. What the system that has been put into place. And it's so unnatural. We should be exploring nature. We should have the ability to go to wherever we want to live within our culture, within where our people are, and build a little house for ourselves without permits, without fucking property taxes, without permission from daddy government. We should be able to do that. And you find like-minded people and you all take part in, one family specializes in this crop and one family specializes in this trade, and you all just live amongst each other in your tribes and in your clans, and that's what you do. If you think about the world that we've allowed to be created, it's so fucking evil. When this is what we have, right? This is our world and the beauty of it, and the amount of land that goes unused, the amount of resources that aren't raised to their full fulfillment. The amount of fruits and vegetables alone that could be grown in the U.S., the amount of bread that can be grown. It's what a world we have, right? What a world. But anyway, I'm done rambling. Just wanted to come on and talk about, let's stop talking about the minutia, right? We have to mention things that are going on because we need to be aware. But let's stop arguing about what color our prison cell is going to be, red or blue, right? Because in the end, it's actually purple. They are one and the same. And let's realize, and let's tell people that ask us these questions when you have these conversations with people, when they ask you, well, how's all this happening and who's responsible for it? And who's going to come and save us? You are. You are. You have to save yourself, and you do that by taking responsibility for what takes place in here. You need to remove all contradictions. If you say you want peace, do the things that you support peace. Be honest. Because if you support any type of politician, you don't believe in peace. If you say you want love and freedom, you can't say those things and they be true if at the same time you support the institutions and the people that destroy peace, love, and freedom, i.e. the government, the state, and the order followers that do their bidding. You can't say you want to be free if you support the people that take away your freedom, right? You say you want to be healthy. What are you doing to make that happen? You say you want to be mentally strong. You don't want to have anxiety and depression, and you don't want to be nervous. You don't want to be what's it called? When you want to stay inside all the time, agoraphobia, is that what it is? You want to be inside all the time. You don't want to be around people. You want to lose weight, but none of these things are happening. So are you doing the work? Are you asking yourselves, why do I not feel that I'm worthy of being healthy? Why do I not feel that I'm worthy of being confident and strong and have high self-esteem? These are personal responsibility. This is personal responsibility. This is what it means to be a human being. To ask these questions, not to run to a pill, not to escape through the TV or through video games, right? And that's the beauty of the consciousness that we have, is that we can think about thinking. We can think about the things that we're thinking. That's incredible. You can have a thought and then you can think about that thought and you can analyze it, right? And that's it, that's it for this one. I'm just want to come on and talk about those things. Let people know Daddy Trump's not here to save you. Daddy Trump is not who he says he is, 1. 2, he doesn't work for you or the benefit of you or your family. Doesn't work for the benefit of this country. He is a absolutely outright owned Zog puppet. Always has been, always will be. All of our politicians are. If you don't know what Zog is, look into it. Why do people say that? Why do people claim that? How many politicians, how many congressmen and senators and presidents pledge allegiance to that small little country that is committing genocide as we speak? That's what's so disgusting about all this is people say they care about humanity and freedom while supporting the very people that pay for the weapons that are being used to genocide a people off this earth. There's not much of Palestine left. They have pretty much destroyed every fucking building there. Hospitals, schools. They are filming themselves snipering people and laughing about it. Bringing in food aid and watching people run for food because they're starving and then shooting them. They're pretty much to the ocean at this point. And the people of the West, people that call themselves Christian, support it. They believe these are the chosen people, the most genocidal maniac pieces of fucking shit that you can imagine to genocide another people off this earth. And they call themselves Christian. They say they care about freedom and love, that they care about what's taking place in the world, while at the same time supporting this. It's incredible. It's incredible. The contradictions that people live with in their mind and in their heart. And you wonder why people are so on edge and they're so unstable and they're so mentally unwell and they can't look you in the eye. They can't shake your hand firmly. Eyes are darting back and forth. They lose their mind if somebody cuts them off in traffic. They lose their mind at the grocery store over the smallest things. They're teaching their kids to steal. I've watched some pretty fucked up videos lately where you see moms going into stores and they're literally teaching their kids how to steal. They're doing it. They're stealing with their children. Walking right out of the stores and fighting with people to keep the stuff that they're stealing. Little kids loading up their bags of stolen goods and just, arguing with the clerks to let them out and cussing them out. These are little elementary age kids. Moms filming their kids destroying the playground area where other kids are playing and then laughing about it and teaching them to do it. Congratulating them and praising them for destroying what other kids are building. This is what we're dealing with. This is how far humanity has fallen, that they take such pleasure in absolute darkness. I often used to say in my last channel that maybe human beings always used to be like, I think the masses have always been like this. I think the masses have always been the masses. For many, many resets now. I don't believe humanity has always been like this if we can go back as far as we could. We don't know that, but in my heart, there's no way I can believe that we've always been like this. I mean, it's really only a few people in each generation actually care. The few people in comparison to the population of the world actually care about freedom, actually care about honoring their ancestors and wanting to live free and to be left the fuck alone. Caring about nature. Caring about animals, all of it, caring about the well-being of all human beings so we could all be free. High trust doesn't exist. I watched a video the other day, just recently too, where, here in the US, I'm sure that you have it in Europe too, but if you go to the countryside, you'll see farm stands where people will have honey or eggs or whatever it is that they sell or they grow or that they harvest. And they will have a cart or a cool little setup outside on their driveway, and it will say, take what you would like. This is the price. Leave the money here, right? And because we are such a low trust society now, such a diverse fucking melting pot now, you're starting to see where people from other cultures are going to these stands where people make a living from. They make a good portion of what they need to pay their bills, and they're just taking everything. The one that I saw, this fucking piece of shit, I think he was Indian. He went up and he took $120, $150 worth of eggs from this stand and just took them. Didn't pay for them, nothing, just took them. This shit never happened before. This shit never used to happen. I've lived in plenty of places in the Midwest, on the East Coast, Florida, where people do this, and then you'll see people go, put their money in, take what they want, and that's it. And because it's on camera, people put cameras up. This dude went up, took all the eggs, and just left. That's where we are. That's the beauty of the world that is being created by our apathy. But anyway, that's it for me. I'm just rambling. I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. Take care of yourself and never behind.